investigating the stories that matter to you. Live from Columbia in high definition. This is WIS News 10.
Good Sunday morning and thanks for joining us. I'm PJ Randala. Looking live over downtown Columbia right now, it looks like we'll see a nice ending to a beautiful autumn weekend. Let's check in with Tim Miller for your first alert forecast.
PJ, thank you. Indeed, we will. Hop from that look to this look over Lake Murray. Isn't that beautiful? That's like a postcard. We'll do that coming up in just a little bit from now. PJ?
Thanks, Tim. Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash in Lexington County yesterday morning. Troopers say around 9:30, a driver was traveling north on Broad Street near Gilbert. That's when they say he drove off the road, flipped, and hit a utility pole. The driver was thrown from the vehicle. A passenger later died at the hospital. The victim's identity has not yet been released. Police arrested a man who they say was running an elaborate game room inside a Columbia home. Herman Kretsch is charged with gambling. 3 other people were cited for playing games inside the Norman Street home. Police were called to the home on a tip, discovering several active video games set up on tables. Officers also found more than $2,000 in cash and 2 ledgers during the bust. And a Columbia Park ranger arrested and accused of fondling 2 young girls is facing some serious problems. Columbia police say on Wednesday, 65-year-old Edwin Vincent ordered 2 girls to remove their shirts, claiming he was checking for acne and performing a breast exam. City manager Teresa Wilson says Vincent was not on the job when the incident happened, but he is on investigatory leave pending the outcome of this case. Vincent has been charged with second-degree assault and aggravated assault. A man serving 15 years for a 5-point beating now faces new charges. Tahim Henry is accused of posting to Facebook while behind bars. Henry is charged with creating and assisting in a social network site and unauthorized inmate organization. He's now spending 23 hours a day in solitary. His posts included gang symbols, thoughts on prison life, and drug references. Henry is serving time for his part in the group beating of Carter Strange 2 years ago. House Republicans upped the ante in the fight over Obamacare last night, passing a bill that forces President Obama and the Senate to choose between the health care plan and a government shutdown. The bill, which passed 231 to 192 along party lines, now moves to the Senate, where Majority Leader Harry Reid has already called it pointless. Government workers are hoping for a break in the impasse before midnight Monday, but lawmakers say that's looking less likely with each passing hour. Brian Moore has the story from Washington.
The House will be in order.
In a rare Saturday session, House Republicans used the threat of a government shutdown in 3 days as leverage in their latest bid to stop Obamacare.
And we will be 100% unified in this effort because we're standing on principle.
Unless we take up the Senate bill, we are going to head for a shutdown.
The bill, as amended, is passed.
A day earlier, the Senate passed a bill to keep the government running into mid-November, after cutting out a House provision that would have defunded the president's health care plan. With time running down, House Republicans are now trying to force the Senate's hand with a plan that would delay the Affordable Care Act for a year. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid has promised to reject it.
I pray that Harry Reid and the President of the United States will not shut the government down.
Neither side says it wants a government shutdown, but both are eager to blame the other if it happens.
They are willing to shut down our government or implode our economy unless they get their way.
On Capitol Hill, another war of wills with Uncle Sam's credit on the line.
The last extended government shutdown happened nearly 18 years ago in 1995. That's when non-essential federal employees here in Columbia saw significant pay cuts or lost their pay for several weeks. Some federal operations would not be affected if Congress fails to come up with a solution. Soldiers at Fort Jackson, for instance, would be among those who would be considered essential employees and will not see any difference in pay. But a former Columbia mayor says that could be a different story for military civilian workers and contractors.
Well, we are very dependent on the military's presence in Columbia and the Midlands of South Carolina. It's one of the legs of the table of our economy. The civilians who work there are very much a part of that leg. And for there to be a government shutdown and the civilian community is put out of work, it has tremendous ripples throughout our economy and in their lives.
Of course, the government shutdown is not imminent as of yet, but Adams says he's already picked up some signals that some federal operations in the Columbia area are beginning to scale back or at least discussing how to handle a shutdown. Several South Carolina law enforcement agencies are sharing more than $2 million in federal funds. U.S. Attorney Bill Nettles says that the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office is getting more than $1 million to hire 10 officers. The Charleston Police Department and Richland County are each getting $500,000 for 4 officers each. The city of Hardeeville is receiving $125,000 to hire 1 officer. The Spartanburg Department of Public Safety will also hire 1 officer with about $109,000. The grants are part of the U.S. Justice Department Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services. The COPS program funded awards to 263 cities and counties aimed at creating 937 law enforcement positions. More than $125 million is being awarded nationally, including nearly $45 million to fund 356 new school resource officer positions. And it was a colorful celebration in downtown Columbia yesterday as the LGBT community showed its pride. The 2013 SC Pride Day kicked off Saturday morning with a parade starting at the corners of Main and Laurel Streets. This year, more than 65 groups marched. Organizers say the community has made great strides, but there's still much more ground to cover.
Our city has made great improvements with the LGBT community. Policy-wise and procedures and everything. State-wise, we are running a little behind, but we are making improvements every day.
The party continued on Main Street with live music, including former American Idol contestant Kimberly Locke.
Marina, Marina, Marina.
Also, Italian heritage and culture was highlighted yesterday. The Bella Italia Lodge hosted its Italian festival and bocce tournament. It was a day filled with music, dancing, an Italian auto show, and of course a food market. No festival would be complete without that food. And green and slimy, deep fried and crunchy and everything in between, okra lovers were out in force in Irmo yesterday for the Okra Strut. The 40th annual 2-day festival featuring the green vegetable wrapped up at Irmo's Town Park Saturday. This one was not just about okra. There was a lot of live entertainment, rides, and even a parade. Still to come this morning, on a clear night, looking up at the stars might mean seeing something out of this world. We'll show you some cool video of a meteor that packs a punch, all caught on tape.
Wow, look up on the sky today. You'll need your sunglasses. Carolina sunshine for your Sunday. We'll have your forecast straight ahead, Stephen. I tell you, we can't get enough of this look. This is from our tower cam over our beautiful state capital. Sunshine galore, wall to wall. How is your Sunday morning doing? Absolutely beautiful start to it as well. Lots of Carolina sunshine. A beautiful start indeed. Voila, temperatures 66 with sunshine. Northeasterly wind at 7, relative humidity about 70%. So indeed a very delightful day for today. Other temperatures, let's take a look here. 68 in Camden. My goodness, we broke a 70. Bishopville at 70. Kingstree at 70. Manning about 66 degrees this morning. Chester at 68. Other temperatures from Greenwood at 63. Down to Hilton Head 68. And Charleston's at 70. Along the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach, it's at 66 degrees. Weather headlines coming up in just a moment. You're going to love that. In the meantime, Robert Baker 56 in Cades for an overnight low. We'll take that. Robert Cook and Dalzell. Not bad in the 50s. Jeff at 54 in Elgin. Jill Long, 54 in Lexington. And one more stop. This is Pam Toole in Sherall at 54 degrees. Now our weather headlines. Whew. Cool nights, warm days ahead is really the rule of thumb here over the next several days as we get into this week. Low temperatures in the upper 50s, highs in the 80s. We'll flirt with the low 60s as we get through the week. And sunny days and clear nights. This is great fall weather in South Carolina for sure. That's all thanks to high pressure. I know we've been talking about it, but that's been the rule of thumb. He is not moving. He's going to slowly continue to sink towards the south. The clockwise flow around that, bringing that northeasterly wind, hence the cooler conditions, and keeping all storms at bay. Not only this front, it'll keep this front out towards the west. I believe low pressure will start to form over Florida. That's going to cause more rain and problems for the Sunshine State. They won't live up to that motto for at least this week. That low will scoot off towards the east as high pressure continues to keep it offshore. So that's certainly some good news as far as that's concerned. But for us, it's Carolina sunshine, 79 degrees, a beautiful day with, again, a light northeasterly wind around 5 to 10. Tonight, continued cool. We'll get down to 56 degrees. Here's the rest of our forecast. Look at this. Beautiful. 81 for Monday. And each day we're going to bring it up a notch, 83, 84, as we'll continue. We'll go from the northeast wind. We'll pick it up to the southwest. We'll continue to warm up a little bit. Next rain chance, don't let this frighten you, is Saturday. It's at 20% right now. We'll have to watch the model runs as we get through the week. But nonetheless, this is wonderful forecast as we get into the first few days of October this week. PJ?
All right, thanks, Tim. A suspected drunk driving traffic stop turned into a wild, high-speed chase and a dramatic crash. The entire incident was caught on camera by Florida Highway Patrol troopers, one of whom narrowly escaped the flying wreckage. Bob Keeling shows us the video.
This is how close one trooper, responding to reports of a fleeing DUI suspect, came to getting hit himself. Watch again after the Prius hits another car, then comes skidding right past the cruiser's dashboard camera. It started when the Prius, driven by 30-year-old sex offender James Maddox, was pulled over on the South Trail on suspicion of DUI. After troopers say he gave them a fake ID, the trooper asks him to get out of the car.
Give me a favor, step out, sir. Step out.
Instead, the Prius takes off down South OBT. The trooper reports the suspect vehicle reaching speeds of 100 miles an hour. By policy, he's taking note of the traffic around them.
Traffic is light to moderate, speed right now about 100 miles an hour.
Then, just 72 seconds after the pursuit started, the driver runs a red light and slams right into another vehicle.
Signal 4, Orlando. Signal forward, 1071.
The backup trooper has since pulled into a parking lot nearby and notices the Prius catching fire. An 18-year-old passenger is still inside.
We got one inside over here. He's inside? Yeah. Try to get him out, bro. Get this freaking fire extinguisher.
The area fills with smoke as troopers put out the fire and pull the 18-year-old victim to safety.
Florida Highway Patrol troopers say it is within their policy to chase a fleeing drunk driver suspect when traffic conditions are safe enough to do so. Now, here's something you don't see very often, a meteor bright enough to light up the night sky. This was captured on camera in Greenwood, Indiana, Friday. The American Meteor Society keeps track of such things, and they say shooting stars are seen more frequently around this time of year. And police in Maryland are looking for thieves who made off with about $500,000 worth of jewelry. Their sophisticated heist has baffled police. Tim Russo explains.
This photo shows the X police say the thieves marked on the roof. It was in the exact right spot. Surveillance video shows the crooks descending into a small back room of the Rivertown Jewelers store in Oxon Hill.
They just go straight to the wires over here and they cut the wires to the alarm.
Prince George's County Police Detective David Gross says the suspects had planned out every last detail. We've covered plenty of smash and grab jewelry robberies in the past, but Gross says this one was way more sophisticated. He's never seen anything like it.
You just can't see anything. They got the gloves on, all black. They got the black mask on.
The three crooks lower a number of supplies, including gas tanks for a blowtorch. Then they get to work. This video shows where they cut through thick concrete and steel to get into the back of the safe. Police say they got a hold of $500,000 worth of jewelry that was inside. They stole every last piece from these trays.
That's crazy. Like, they doing Ocean 11 on people out here.
Anaya King works a few doors down and says she hopes the community rallies around the owners.
I want people to support them because it's a shame.
The owner and her brother didn't want to talk on camera, but he says the burglary has devastated them and they're still battling for insurance money. Police hope by releasing this video, they'll get the tip they need to bring the family justice.
They took 25 years to get their business going, and they were wiped out in a matter of 2 hours.
When News 10 Sunrise returns, the Olympics may be 132 days away, but let the lighting of the torch begin. That and other news around the world. We'll see you on the other side. Dozens of Nairobi residents held a candlelit vigil outside the shattered Westgate Mall Saturday evening for victims of last weekend's extremist attack. Around 200 Kenyans gathered to honor those who died. Somali militant group Al-Shabaab has taken responsibility for the mall attack that lasted 4 days in a siege. At least 67 people were killed and some 175 people were wounded. The world's chemical weapons watchdog has approved an accelerated plan to rid Syria of its chemical weapons stockpile. It outlines timelines for cataloging, quarantining, and destroying the arsenal. The approval came hours before the unanimous vote by the UN Security Council on a resolution to secure and destroy that stockpile. That resolution enshrines the plan approved by the OPCW and makes it legally binding. And Iran's president was back in Tehran Saturday after his appearance at the United Nations headquarters in New York. His visit was capped by a historic telephone conversation with President Barack Obama. It was the first time an American president has spoken directly with an Iranian leader in 34 years. The phone conversation resurrected hopes that Tehran and Washington could resolve their disputes. A car bomb exploded on a crowded street in northwestern Pakistan this morning, killing at least 33 people. Over 75 people were injured by the blast. The bomb went off in a crowded market, which is the city's oldest bazaar, near a mosque and a police station. According to the police, the latest explosion appears to have been a bomb planted in a parked car and detonated by a remote control. The blast damaged the mosque and nearby shops and caused many vehicles to go up in flames. It was the third blast to hit the city of Peshawar in a week. In other Pakistan news, Pakistani charities have set up temporary centers where people can donate food, water, and supplies to help quake victims there. A 7.7 magnitude quake hit southwest Pakistan last week, and yesterday another quake hit the same province, killing at least 12 people. A charitable group called KKF has put up 4 stations in Karachi to collect supplies for victims. 4 truckloads of supplies have already been sent to the quake area, but it's tough going because of the mountainous terrain. Authorities say more than 300 people were killed by both quakes. And in an elaborate ceremony, the Olympic flame for the Sochi Winter Games was lit in Greece this morning. A Greek actress playing a high priestess used a parabolic mirror reflecting the sun's light to light the flame, and later gave the flame over to a Greek skier named Giannis Antonio. Antonio is the first torchbearer that will carry the Olympic flame across Greece before it makes its way to Russia. After a few minutes, Antonio gave the flame to Russian hockey star Alexander Ovechkin. The flame will make a 7-day trip across Greece through 27 cities. On October 5th, the flame will leave for Russia. And tattoo fans from around the world lined up in London to ensure their place at the most prestigious gathering of tattoo artists. It was all part of the London International Tattoo Convention. The buzzing sound of tattoo guns filled the air at the event. 320 of the world's top body artists were on hand to make those elaborate portraits. And up next, a final check on your First Alert forecast with Tim Miller. Thank you for starting your Sunday morning here with us on News 10.
Hi, how are you? Welcome back. Sunday morning. You ready for a good forecast?
Yeah, tell us, Tim. What do we have?
Let me tell you what we have for this morning. Beautiful start to our morning. Temperatures in the 50s, but we're rising to the 60s, and we'll hit about 79 degrees today with lots of Carolina sunshine. Temperatures each day will go up a degree or so. High pressure's in place. We have a northeasterly wind now bringing us the cooler air. And it's also going to keep our storms out towards our west and towards our south. But we'll get on the backside of that high later on in the week, so temperatures will go up a little bit. Next rain chances Saturday. Don't let that scare you, though. It's 20% now. And we'll continue to watch it throughout the week. John will, of course, have information on that during the evening and Ben during the morning time. But other than that, it's a wonderful week. Now, you're going to be your first South Carolina State Fair coming up soon, right?
It is, yes.
Yes. All right.
I'm looking forward to all the deep fried food we can expect.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Any suggestions?
Oh, I have tons of suggestions. I'll let you know. We all have suggestions, don't we? Well, it'll be fun. You're going to enjoy that.
Okay, well, we hope to see you there as well. That's all for WIS News Sunday morning. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend.